If you enjoyed today's video, please consider subscribing to the channel. When you do, make sure you hit the notification bell. That means that you will be informed of when a new video has been released. If you would like to take that support one step further, you can do that via Patreon, which is an optional monthly service. You can donate money towards the channel, or you can go over to Ko-fi.com, and for the price of a coffee you can help donate towards the channel as well. Links for all of those will be in the description of the video, and without further ado, enjoy the video. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you happen to be watching another interview on the channel. It's been a while since we've done one of these interviews. Normally, this is my chance to ask management and players of different clubs after a football match what is going on and how they thought the game went on, etc. But we have no football to currently go to. So what we've decided to do in this brand new series is explore the latest news within the SIL. And I thought, what better way to kickstart this than bringing on Dean Cooper? First of all, before we get into your new role and how you're planning on changing the fortunes of Achilles round, how are you doing in lockdown? How have you kind of been adjusting to life? How has it been?
Well, firstly, thanks for having me. It's been tough, and it has for many, I'm sure. Still working, so doing nights, which is a pain, but you've got to do what's best for the family.
Yeah.
But other than, like I say, got a 6-month-old baby and a 12-year-old, so there's a mixture there.
Right.
But I'm enjoying that time. Like I say, it's been tough, but like I say, everyone's going through it, and hopefully over the next few months we can gradually get back to some sort of normality.
Yeah, definitely. Well, fingers crossed anyway. So let's get on to the big news. You have been confirmed as the new manager of Achilles for the upcoming season. We've briefly kind of talked off camera. This is your first full management role. We know you've been in football in different coaching roles before. How are you feeling about the appointment? And what kind of attracted you to Achilles, really?
Well, firstly, I'm excited, really excited. Achilles is a big club. Being honest, I went for the role about a year ago when they advertised it, between the Hilliard sort of movement in and out.
Right.
But at that time, it wasn't probably right for me, being quite new into the management with under spreads at Westerfield, which helped me massively. But I just felt this time round, it's right for me. It's now my time to shine and go and do what I need to do as a number one.
Yep.
And I feel I can bring enthusiasm, passion, and what I want to try and do is feed into the youth, try and get younger players into the game, which there isn't much of at the moment, and try and look forward for the future. Yeah,
definitely. Because for those who don't maybe watch the SIL, who are brand new to the channel, and a lot of our SIL subscribers that already know the kind of ins and outs, that it was a season of ups and downs for Achilles last year, both on and off the pitch. So based on the conversations that you've had, and it may well be limited with the club, what have they really been setting you as targets, or has that kind of not really happened?
No, like I said, we've had a brief chat over telephones, and obviously backwards and forwards, and then we had a meeting socially distanced, which was all set up according to the guidelines. And what there's no real, obviously Achilles is a big club, so there's always going to be some sort of expectation, but with the previous season they've just had not being their best, and they know it's not their best, and they're better than that. They've given me free rein, and I think they're looking for a new look Achilles, a new way going forward, as in they give me free rein to bring in obviously the management side of things, who I want, and they're looking at a plan over the next 3, 4, 5 years rather than a quick fix, which is
that was going to be my next question. Do you and the club see this more of a project rather than a short-term fix? But you've just answered that very
it's going to be a project. It's going to be tough to start with, obviously adapting new players, new management in, but I feel it's something that management side of things, we've got that all locked in place quite quickly now, with an assistant and a future coach maybe, which I can't say the name just yet. but that's something that is going to set up who will be able to bring in players from further afield, which normally SIL teams don't have that luxury of having. So that's a bonus as well.
Okay. I know you briefly talked about it there, about the size of the club, but what were the main kind of features about Achilles that really attracted you to the club? Not just the role itself.
Yeah. The people.
Yeah.
It's a club that's full of passionate supporters, massive people behind the club, the chairman and his wife, the reserves managers in Grimmy and Crick. They're there supporting me all the way. I just feel it's a massive club with obviously a huge background who really wants to take things forward. And for me, it's like another family. Previously, obviously rivals. I was at Cranes for a few seasons. And they've got that same mentality as in a family background within a club, and you've got that support. You can't go wrong.
Yeah, definitely. Now, as we briefly talked about, this is your first step into the main hot seat, so to speak. So, being the number 2 previously at Westerfield under Stewart, first of all, what kind of things did you learn from Stewart, and maybe that you've taken on for yourself, and what kind of characteristics do you really feel that you're going to bring to the management role?
Yeah, what I learned at obviously in my role at Westerfield under Spreads was to be patient. I'm quite passionate, and that can lead me quite heavily sometimes. But that's just a lot of football. Spreads was basically I just looked up to him throughout. I just see him as a legend. He's calm, his decision making, and he's just always there to help and support you no matter what it is, in and outside of football. And going forward with Achilles, I think where that's helped me is, in a sense, I need to look at myself, and I have looked at myself and thought, right, how can I do things differently? I don't want to take away from myself too much, because you would just be the person that you're not meant to be. I want to be my own person. Obviously, some of the things that Spreads has put in place, I'll take on board and take with me. But going forward with Achilles, I think it's more a younger, fresh head who can maybe have better links with players, better understanding the way they want to play football now. Because it's not just all about that. It's also players now want to play with their mates. Football's changed a lot. You get one, you get 5 of them, regardless where they are. But going forward, it's all about me playing football the right way, bringing the fun back into it. I think Achilles, and I said that to him when I went for the interview for the role. It just seems like they've lost their way of having fun. And in football, if you've got happy players, they play good football. And that's what I'm going to aim to do. It's going to be good football, happy players, just enjoying and having a laugh. Obviously serious when it needs to be serious, but that's the main key for me, just enjoying and playing with a smile. Yeah,
definitely. You mentioned about the fact that you've already filled one role at the club. You've got Rich Cardin in as your assistant manager. On Twitter, you said it was a very easy decision to make. What was it about him that you thought was the right fit to work alongside yourself?
Obviously, I've heard and I've seen Richard. I've played with Richard Vets football. I know of him. There was quite a few people come on who wanted to be involved with the Achilles setup as an assistant. I think there was 12 in total.
Wow,
quite a few
really?
Yeah, there's quite a few that have no coaching experience and it ain't right for them this time. So I've put their names forward to other people in lower leagues to help them maybe start off there. But for Richard, as you do, I've gone round and I've asked the likes of Stewart Spreadbridge and Ian Radner at Cranes, the experienced people who know the names, got feedback from them saying great things. Obviously, I know him anyway. And for me, we had a conversation for about 40 minutes or so, and he is everything I am, as in he's passionate, he's loyal. And I think with him, that's where it comes, the loyal and the trust from him. With an assistant, he's going to be there for you, and he knows what his role is, and he's just keen to get started as well.
Yeah, definitely. So without giving kind of too much away in terms of what tactics and stuff you're likely to play, but what type of football are you ideally trying to bring to Achilles? Do you kind of have something in mind, or is it going to be based on who you're able to kind of bring in? Because I suppose it's one thing to have an idea and a philosophy, but if you haven't got the players to match it, that might be a bit difficult.
Absolutely. I mean, if you've got players to play a certain way, you can't play that way. But for me, it's all what I think with training and coaching, which is something I'm very passionate with and get involved with heavily.
Yeah.
That's something I can get our players to do. At Westerfield last season, we turned them into little machines. They were fit, ready. They were fighting warriors, and that's something I'll bring into this way. I mean, the way I look at it is, I want my team to try and play from the back, if we can, not overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be very. I'll say it out now so that they can all hear it. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to be in your face. We're not going to give you a yard, and we're going to be very attacking. But the main thing I've got to look at is, firstly, the main thing you've got to put in place is defensively. You make yourself defensively solid. The rest, you'll score goals wherever you are in the SIL. You just got to find that way. So
definitely. Now, one of the first things you are going to potentially find as a bit of an obstacle is the fact that we have no start date as things stand. We still have no idea when the division potentially may be able to start. Training wise, what you're allowed to do is still kind of up in the air at the moment. As somebody who's kind of just got into a new role, is that maybe a bit of a source of frustration for you that you can't kind of hit the ground running, or are you quite pleased in some respects you can kind of sit back and assess things from afar, and then you've got longer to make a decision rather than having to rush straight into it?
Yeah, like I say, the timescales and not quite knowing it's helped. I'm quite let's make things happen and get things in place as quickly as possible. In regards to the training, the guidelines come out now from the FA that you can have 6 or 2 groups of 6 as long as they're separated.
Right.
But for us, we're not going to be looking at a lot of ball work for now. So there is things we can put in place, and I'm putting in place. We're going to be starting pre-season training in the next couple of weeks.
Really?
You're going to use Chantry Park, obviously big open space, socially distanced, and we're just going to do fitness. So it's about getting the players fit, because you never know, there might not be pre-season friendlies. We don't know. There might just be a straight into the season.
Yeah.
So if it is, I want to make sure my players are fit and have that upper hand straight off.
Yeah, definitely. One final question, short term for next season, whenever it does potentially kick off, what ideally are your aims for the season? It may not be a positional aim that you might have. It may just simply be top half. I don't know. But what are you ideally wanting to see, not only on the pitch, but off the pitch and as a whole collective of a club? What are your objectives for next year?
Firstly, off the pitch, I want to get Achilles back to being a socially functional club, having the players back after the game, making that a must for a drink, and a go on the pub card to support the club, because without that, there's not much real investment other than supporters and people who invest in other different ways, sponsorships. So for me, it's about getting that club feel back off the pitch and building relationships that way and making the club good there. And on the pitch, like I said earlier, just in regards to getting my players happy, having happy players. You get happy players, they'll get their mates. You end up getting some very good players over. But positional wise, for me, with Achilles, they've not set out saying there's big pressure on to finish in this and finish top half or finish top 4. They're basically saying it's about a progression going forward over the years. But for me, personally, that fight in me and the belief I have, I think we can finish in the top half quite easily, a lot better than they did obviously last season.
Yeah.
But for me, I'd like a good cup run still. I'd like a good cup run. Maybe get up there and see what we can do. Hopefully all the way. Because with cups, it's all about on the day and who wants it most. Yeah,
exactly. And if you've got those kind of values in you, you've kind of portrayed throughout our chat, then the players will certainly be up for it. Well, Dean, I wish you all the best. Hopefully we can get back to training in some sort of normality any sort of day now. But I hope things go well for you at Achilles, and I'll definitely be coming down to watch you guys at some point and recording some footage, and I look forward to seeing you in person.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
No worries. Cheers. Take care.